Hello, dear students. Welcome to our TBT. It's always a pleasure to be here online with you guys. And today is a very, very special day. My name is Fabielle Cruz. I am here with two of the most special teachers I know in the world, great friends of mine, Fulbrighters like me. And I'll have the pleasure to have them. And they're going to talk to us a little bit about today's topic, that is Teacher's Day. So we're gonna have our TBT today about Teacher's Day. So I'll brought to you two of my great friends, DInalo and Nastya. So DInalo, can you introduce yourselves to our students?
Nastya, you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. My name is Anastasiya, or as Fabielle said, Nastya. That's how people typically call me in Russia. And I am from Russia, but currently I am in the US, in Tennessee. It's a state in the southern part of the US. And I'm actually pursuing my master's degree in teaching English. So back in my home country, I have already worked as an English teacher, but I never got like proper education. And I really wanted to continue with my professional development. And that's why I'm actually here and I'm learning how to be a better teacher.
Great.
Wow.
And Nastya already has a master's, right? You already have.
Yeah, I already have a master's degree, but it's in translation. So this is definitely a very good basis, but of course it's way different from teaching. So here I'm trying to learn actually more about how to teach.
Okay, thank you, Nastya. DInalo.
Hello, everyone. I can see you, but you can see me. So okay. It's nice to be here. So my name is DInalo. I'm from Bangladesh. So Fabielle is a very good friend of mine. So when she invited us, I couldn't think of saying no. I'm here. So right now I am in Florida. I'm studying here. I'm a first year PhD student in Department of English at University of Florida. And back home in Bangladesh, I used to teach. I have been teaching for 4 years now. So it has been a long time. So yes, we are going to talk about it more.
Yes. So DInalo is from Bangladesh and Nastya is from Russia. And actually, the way we met was because we were teaching our mother tongues, right? Our languages. So Nastya was teaching Russian, DInalo was teaching Bengali, right, DInalo? And I was teaching Portuguese at a university in the United States. So we worked together, but also we became each other's sort of family, right?
Not sort of, it's family.
Yeah, not sort of. It's actually family for real. So we worked together all the time and we were always sharing. So we did many presentations like this, right? So this is sort of like our teaching habit when we were in the US.
But the ones that we did were like face to face. So I don't think we have ever done it online, which is a little bit different.
That's true.
And I remember our last presentation that we had, we all Fulbrighters gathered and had a really cultural presentation. That was so nice. And I missed all of those. Like we had all the Fulbrighters were there from 11 other countries. And we were talking about so many topics that are related to academia and also culture. So, it was so nice. And at least part of it is back today.
Yes. 3 of us, 3 out of 11.
Yes. And good thing about it is friendship. Like the experience of that I took away from Fulbright experience is friendship. And that's too, like it's not a very common kind of friendship in terms of cross-cultural experience, because I have, as I was saying a couple of minutes ago, I have never been to Russia or I have never been to Brazil. But whenever the moment I hear about something happening in Russia or in Brazil, it instantly clicks with my mind, my friend is there, my family is there. It's something like that. So it's unique, in terms of culture, in terms of, I mean, it's just a unique experience.
Yeah. And you said something that we always say to our students, because, like I told you before in the backstage, we are talking to our students who are learning to become English teachers as well in the future. But one thing that we always tell them is that we cannot separate language and culture, right? We cannot put them apart.
Absolutely.
There are things that go together all the time, right?
Yes.
And that
And when
wasn't.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Dinalo.
I was just about to tell, like, when it comes to language learning, about, because I remember going to that extracurricular activities to Lunar Academic Academy, and we used to just get to know each other's language with fun. For example, like, how does it sound, that dog barks in a particular language? And it was, so we were getting to know each other's language a little bit, but in a fun way, so that's also about, I guess that also works with English as well. We have Nastia, uh, who can talk more about this language learning.
Which part of it? Language learning is such a huge topic,
Okay.
right?
Okay,
The part,
fun way.
Forever.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
the
how
part
can
that we
one,
would make animal
yeah,
sounds inside the van while
yeah,
going to extracurricular activities.
That was particularly fun. And I actually just enjoyed, like learning some short phrases from different languages. Like I still remember some of them, like from Bengali, like how to say I miss you. And with Portuguese, I think for me it was a little bit different because I know a bit of Spanish, right? So that was very helpful to sometimes maybe get the gist of a conversation in Portuguese. Yeah, I really miss those times actually.
Yeah,
I like this like pluralism in terms of languages. So not only like
that's
English
true.
and Russian that I have right now, but also like just so many different languages around me.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the most fulfilling parts of the experience, right? Because uh, our common language was English. So that's the important thing for us to tell our students. Like we were teaching our own languages, but at the same time, the ground language among us was English. So we would talk to each other in English. And then comes the part where Nastia just said, like we would teach each other something different in each other's language. So I know how to say I love you in so many languages right now. And but it was the fun part, right? Learning from each other. We learned so many things and cultural aspects. I remember that we had some very interesting talks about completely different topics, right? Like our families, our beliefs, our expectations, the future. And I mean, English was the common language among us.
That's true. That's something that brought us together in the first place, right? Like language and being able to communicate with people from all over the world, basically.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, we are all English teachers back in our countries. Well, I'm here in Brazil and I'm talking to my students, but yeah. But I would like to I would like you guys to tell us a little bit of how you became an English teacher. Like, how did you decide to become an English teacher, or why you started, or why you chose English?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. And I love answering this question because I think that my story is kind of, I don't know whether it's like a typical story or not typical, but I like telling it. So actually, I had English classes in school and I was pretty good at it, but I could never, communicate with other people. And it all changed when I came to the US for the first time when I was around 14 or 15. And I spent around 10 months living with a host family and going to an American school. And I think this experience really influenced what I wanted to do in the future. So I just realized that languages and cross-cultural communication is something that I'm really passionate about. And my bachelor's degree is in international relations, and this also helps me, learn English better and learn more about politics and also about cross-cultural communication. But the fun part is how I actually decided to be an English teacher. I have never made this decision at first. I was just looking for a part-time job, and I already had a couple of like part-time jobs, but they were very simple. And then I saw an advertisement of a company who that actually hired students because I was only 18 and I didn't even think of teaching professionally. But then I was like, that's interesting. So there is a company who specifically hires students to teach children and like from elementary school to high school. And they did it for a reason, because as a student yourself, you better understand the students from school because you have just been in their shoes. And I decided to give it a try. I didn't have any teaching skills. Like my English was pretty good, but no teaching skills. And they hired me. And I think I had to start teaching the next day after they told me that I'm hired, just because they had an emergency and they really needed a substitute teacher.
That was fast.
That was really fast. I was so stressed. I think I prepared for my first lesson for about like maybe 5 or 6 hours, and I still was not, very confident. But then obviously they provided some trainings, and that was really helpful. But still, I was doing it just, as a part-time job. I was not considering doing this in the future. And then after some time, I think my perception changed completely. So I started working with the children and teenagers, and I just felt in love with what I was doing. So yeah, it started from not being something very intentional, just something for fun and, to earn, maybe to get some small income. And then it transformed into like a lifelong passion, I would say.
Wow.
Something you loved doing. Oh my God. We didn't know the story, actually.
Yeah.
We never talked about it.
Never? Okay.
How about you, DInalo?
Oh, well, so back home in Bangladesh, I belong to a very small town. So I grew up there and I had my schooling there. So in that sense, I didn't get to get much of the higher standard education in terms of English. But this was the subject, like English was the subject that I was really interested in. Every year, when the year started, we get new books. So my first attraction was the English book, So the name of the book was English Today. So I used to just started, smell the aroma of the books, and I just wanted to read it. It was, though it was a textbook, but it was kind of a pleasure reading kind of a thing. So I started it once. Like by the time the classes started, I'm almost 1 unit or 2 unit ahead of that book. So I guess it started from then, the tender feeling of love for this subject. So I grew up when I passed my HSC, that is high school exam. So after that, we have to sit for the entrance exam in different universities. So I sat for that. So I opted for different other options other than English, but I got admitted in English. So at public university in Bangladesh, in the capital. So I started there, and I started studying literature, and I immediately fell in love with the subjects. Like we used to learn different. We used to have different courses, like world literature. Most of it I remember is English literature, like from England and the countries. But it was fun. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, and so the love for English comes naturally, and then I kind of worked on that, and schooling, training, all of those kind of presentations helped me develop my English, and also develop my knowledge of the literature. But the interesting thing is that I didn't opt for teaching, or I very much like Anastasia. I was not very sure about what I'm going to do with English. So after I am graduated in 2015, I was looking for a job. I was looking for a job, and I started actually. I joined in a school just for time pass or something. I didn't want to be unemployed or something. So suddenly I got a call from one of my friends telling me there is this vacancy at a university, at a public university. So do you want to apply for that? And I did, and as usual, like very much like what Nastia has said, I went for the interview, and there were multiple other candidates. So I thought like I didn't opt for this job. I just accidentally came here. So I'm not gonna get the job. And after a couple of days, I guess it's 2 days later, they informed me that you are selected. So what you need to do is you
It was
have to,
also very fast.
yeah, it was. And you have to give a demo class. So if
Okay.
you perform well in that particular class, so you will be, you will be hired. So everything goes accordingly. And luckily, I got selected again. So yeah, so teaching comes like that. And I guess I started taking teaching seriously when it is in 2018, when I got selected for Fulbright scholarship. And thanks to Fulbright, I got to meet you people. So that's why I'm here. A lot of
That's that's what
yeah,
all of us did, like we took teaching even more serious because like
of
I
course,
said, teaching English for us as a second language comes more natural and for I don't know, it comes easier than teaching our own mother tongues, right? Because I remember us
absolutely,
sitting down and saying, okay, do you guys say no to everything in your language? And I remember Nasta saying, yes, it's okay to say no. And I was like, no, in Portuguese we never say no. And we actually were sharing this because at a point we had a different perception of our
yes.
language and English teaching as well, right?
Yes, yes. So
Absolutely.
it was a lot of training involved in this Fulbright journey.
Yeah.
I remember we had 4 day long orientation program where a lot of new strategies and pedagogies were, I mean, the trainers have informed about those to us. So that was really helpful. And when we finally started teaching, though it was our own mother languages, native languages, but we had to teach in English, right? English was the
Yeah,
medium that we communicated with our students.
that's true.
So that helped a lot. That helped a lot. So after this very amazing journey, we got back to our own countries. But I always had this, I don't know whether I can call it interest or vision or whatever it is. It was nothing clear what I'm gonna do next, but
Hmm.
deep down in my mind, I always had this urge to pursue a higher degree. Like I did not
Hmm.
want to just sit by myself. Okay, I have done enough and just keep on teaching back in home. So I wanted to learn again, because life is about. I mean, you are a teacher. That doesn't mean that you master everything, right? We are learning
Exactly.
every
It's a
single day. We are
it's a
learning.
forever process, right? I think it's an eternal
Absolutely.
process.
Absolutely. Even we learn from our students, right? I wish we could meet them today. I wish we could learn something from them today, but instead someday next maybe. So I I always wanted to learn. So I think that brought me here. So right now I'm in University of Florida, as I have already told. So, and I'm learning new things again, and I think that will help me to be a better teacher in when I'm back to the my earlier profession. So yeah, so it's very long story, and it's kind of very I have told it in a very sporadic way, but yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
That's how I became a teacher.
That's amazing. So the main reason why I'm asking you actually to share this story with our students and the other professors that work with us here at Uninter and that are watching us It's exactly that, because today is Teachers' Day here in Brazil. And, it's very important for us to say all these aspects, because we are teaching future teachers here. So we want them to understand that it doesn't end when graduation happens, right? And talking a little bit about Teachers' Day. So here in Brazil today, October 15 is Teachers' Day. But I know that for you guys, it's not October 15, right? Can you tell us a little bit if there are any traditions? Here in Brazil, usually young children take a gift or chocolate to their teachers in this
Mhm.
special day, or a handmade card, something like that. That's the tradition for young kids. Usually older kids, they don't do that anymore. So how about in your countries? Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, I think I'll start. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we celebrate Teachers' Day on the 5th of October,
Okay.
but I would say that mostly that happens in public schools. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was a student, that was definitely like a big deal. So it was important, and we all really wanted to congratulate the teachers that we really, whose classes we loved. And, we typically would give them, as you also said, a small present, or sometimes, like if it was, we had like a classroom teacher as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we would just maybe buy even like a bigger present for our classroom teacher, just because we know that, for example, there is something that they really want to have, or is something that they really need to have, and we just wanted to show our appreciation by doing that. And I also actually, when I was kind of thinking about what to tell you guys about the Teachers' Day in Russia, I was talking to my boyfriend's sister, and she shared a story from her school. She said that in their school it was also a big deal always. And during this day, teachers would normally not teach as much as they typically do. So the classes would be shorter, and then students will make some performances. They will sing a song or recite a poem or something like this. And as far as I was actually working always for some private companies, I think that was a little bit different. So I remember that our bosses and colleagues would always congratulate us, and we would congratulate each other. And also from the students, we might get a card, or, just some warm and nice words during the class if it's a class on a teacher's day. And I feel that with the online learning, maybe it has become slightly different, because I remember, like, let's say last year when I was teaching online, I don't think any of my students actually said something nice to me, but not because, they did not appreciate and they did not enjoy
Most
the class.
likely because they didn't even remember that,
Yes,
right? With
I
everything
think
that was going
so.
on.
Because even for me, just like remembering that the 5th of October is the Teacher's Day, it's not like a date that I would have in my head. I'd rather think about, appreciating teachers, for example, that I had, or thinking of my own past as a teacher. I kind of do it continuously, like not on a particular day. And also with the students, I feel like it's kind of the same. So they will typically provide some sort of feedback or express, like their feelings or something like this, just whenever they feel is the right thing to do. Like when there is a moment and they want to say like, hey, I'm so thankful, I got my TOEFL score and I was admitted to university. So like there is no need to wait until Teachers Day to
To
tell you that.
celebrate.
Right. So I kind of think it's an ongoing feedback sharing process when you teach. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow,
How
so
about you,
nice.
Dinalo?
Yeah, so nice. I mean, it's so nice to see you guys celebrate Teachers' Day so auspiciously. Like, because back in my country, it's not celebrated that way that you guys do. So, I mean, it's an official Teachers' Day, but we do not celebrate like giving gifts or something like that. We just wish the teachers. That's how we used to do when I was in school. But as Nastya told, is for us, the auspicious day is the day when we got our results or we get our progress cards. So we go to school with our flowers, chocolates, and whatever they want to gift, like present the teacher as a gift. So we go with them. So it's something like this. So for us, that is much more meaningful, and that is much more of celebration, because we are ending the year with a very good note, with our progress cards at our hands, and we are greeting our teachers and being very thankful about what he or she has taught us for all the year around. So that is much more like of an auspicious celebration for us.
Mhm.
But since the advancement of, so we didn't have cell phones then, when I was in school or something. So these days, so since I teach at university, and we have, we everyone has cell phones with them right now. So I guess for last couple of years, 5 to 6 years, it has changed. Every single year I get a lot of texts from my students, because they are mostly, and even I get some messages from my from the school that I used to teach.
Mhm.
So that's really amazing. And this year, grad school is so stressful. I mean, you have to always run for, I mean, to meet the deadlines, to complete your reading. So I didn't even realize that this was Teachers Day this year. So I just woke up in the midnight maybe. So with a ringtone of message from that was from one of my students, and she was so nice, and it made my day. It was a long day, and I was working all day long, and I went to bed so tired. So I got this message, and knowing that, today is the Teachers Day. So eventually I got many other messages from my
Mhm.
students. So that made me nostalgic, and also I feel like that is something, that you feel like, okay, it's worth it. Like whatever I do, the efforts that I put in my task, the efforts that
Mhm.
I attempt to smile even when I'm sad inside. The task of a teacher. So it feels rewarding. I mean, I don't even expect flowers or chocolates or anything. I just want this love, unfiltered love from the students. So that means a lot to me. I mean, I want to ask. I mean, I know my friend Fabielle is really a great teacher, and I personally learned a lot of things from you. So, how was your experience this year from your uh, students? Did you get to hear anything? Get
So
anything?
yeah, so Teachers Day is today for us, right? But the
Okay.
thing is, here in Brazil, Teachers Day is a holiday. So
Ah.
teachers and students, they usually have the day off.
Oh,
But actually, at the same day, we have at the same day, no, on October 12th, we have the Matron Saint of Brazil's Day. So it's Nossa Senhora's Day. So what we did was we put together October 11th and October 12th, and we had holidays this week on Monday and on Tuesday, and today we worked. So what we did, we got a few messages from the students, we got some messages on our personal pages, on our Facebook pages, on our emails, and we also got a very big and special congratulations from the university as well, because it's a collective work of all of us. But
Wow.
usually Teachers Day is a holiday, so we have the day off, and our students as well. So that's
Wow.
very different.
it is different indeed.
Uh, do you guys feel like COVID has changed the way that you teach, or has anything changed since the COVID began? Like the way
Well,
you interact with the students, because many of the classes are online.
yeah, I think so, right? I think a lot has changed since COVID started and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And from my experience, it's people, at least here in Brazil, I'm seeing that people are looking, or they are looking for more and more a place where they belong, whether it is the university, a new job, a new opportunity, their families. So everybody's trying to work towards their future, towards their personal
Mm-hmm.
future, right? And
Yes.
I imagine that you guys that are in the US are sort of doing the same thing.
Yes.
Right. So being a teacher, I don't think it's an easy job. It's not an easy job. It's not a simple job, but it's a great job for sure. I think that we learn a lot in being teachers, right?
Yes.
So for us to end, I actually want to thank you both so much. I mean, half an hour goes by so
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah, it
we didn't
does.
even notice. But I would love in a future opportunity to have you guys again, not to talk about Teachers Day, maybe for us to talk about culture and check if we can have some other Fulbrighters with us to have this chat as well.
That would be nice.
Yes.
That'd be
So
great.
thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, but before you go, can you teach our students how to say goodbye in your native languages?
I
I can
was
let you go without that.
I was planning to say thank you in Portuguese, but okay.
Okay, say thank you in
So,
Portuguese first, and then you teach
obrigada
them.
for having me.
Obrigada. That's so cute.
um, I'm sorry, and I forgot which word would you like us to teach the goodbye?
Yeah,
Goodbye.
can you tell
Goodbye.
them goodbye?
Right. I will teach like the informal one because the formal one is a little bit complicated, but the informal one is very easy. It's paka,
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 paka.
paka, paka, paka.
Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
DInalo?
Yes. As Nastia said, that's the word that I learned from you, saying goodbye in Portuguese. So, obrigado. And I want to thank you, Fabielle, for inviting us to this talk.
My
And again, I
pleasure.
mean, I wish I could meet your students, but I would love to send them a message, convey a message in a way that I have learned from you. That is,
Oh,
That's a heart. That's a big heart.
so yeah.
that's really
So
cute.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, DInalo, can you teach the students how to say goodbye
Oh,
in your language?
it's very it's easy. It's called bidai.
Did I?
Bidai.
Yes.
How come
That's a
I
new
never learned that?
one. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, I know a
Paka.
very good one. It's ami tomake balabashi.
Oh, now
Right?
this.
That means I love you.
Yes,
Right?
yes, of course. Yeah,
And for
you're
Nastya
right.
is ya lublю тебя.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
I love you
Yes.
in Russian.
Or it
I'm not
sounds
that
very similar to yellow blue bus, like Yanu blue bus. That's also like a really nice association.
yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all the students that interacted in the chat. We had Michi, Lucas. We have Professor Jefferson and Professor Teka that are interacting with our students as well. We have quite a few commentaries saying that it was an amazing talk. People loved it. Congratulations. Happy Teachers Day. So it was a great talk. Thank you so much,
Thank you
DInalo
so
and
much as
Nastya.
well. Thank
And I hope
you.
to have
Thank
you
you.
again anytime soon.
Anytime.
Yes, okay then. So bye.
Bye.
Paka.